After 9 years inside investment banking, he decoded how the 1% build wealth, then uncovered a simple map anyone can follow. He studied finance. He trained as a professional accountant. He watched how the top tier navigate money with precision, and the discovery was disarmingly simple. You do not need to be rich. You do not need a degree. You do not even need to love numbers. What you need is a clear roadmap and the resolve to follow it. It begins with a reckoning. Most people skip this part. The wealthy do not. The narrator invites us to take an honest snapshot of today. 3 numbers must live in the mind without rent: net income for the year, expenses for the year, the surplus or the deficit. Yearly figures reveal the truth that monthly snapshots hide. One-off bills, seasonal spending, forgotten subscriptions. They all come into focus over a full year. Add up what lands in your account after tax from salary and side work, and dividends and rental income and interest. Total your spending across the year, both regular and irregular. Subtract. If the result is negative, you are bleeding money and debt follows. If it is positive, you have a surplus, the fuel for freedom. Alongside the surplus, another compass guides the journey. Net worth. Everything owned minus everything owed. Assets like savings, investments, and property. Liabilities like mortgages, car loans, and credit card balances. The difference is the number that buys freedom. Income buys lifestyle. Net worth buys independence. Each decision from this day forward either builds assets or builds liabilities. The wealthy know the difference. The path begins by measuring it. A final lens sharpens the picture. Money personality. 5 archetypes echo through our choices. The contemporary lives in the moment and spends freely. The enterpriser is goal-driven and plans ahead. The minimalist values simplicity and security. The realist is practical and favors steady choices. The socialite spends on memories and experience. Know thyself, and the plan becomes sustainable. Quizzes can help you recognize your tendencies and act with intention. Then comes debt. Not all of it is harmful. Some debt can lift a life. A student loan that expands earning power. A loan that helps acquire an asset that appreciates. Yet other debts drain relentlessly. High-interest cards, payday loans, short-term finance that looks innocent until the costs accumulate. The distinction matters. Put every debt on one page. Balance, interest rate, minimum payment, due date. Any promotional terms. With the full picture in view, choose a strategy and commit. There are 2 proven paths. The Avalanche directs extra payments to the debt with the highest interest first, while paying the minimums on the rest. It is mathematically efficient and saves the most money. The Snowball targets the smallest balances first, creating quick wins that build momentum. It is emotionally powerful. The right choice is the one you will keep. For credit card balances, a well-timed balance transfer to a 0% offer can buy time if fees are understood and a payoff plan is in place before the clock runs out. There is also a discipline in how we spend. A debit card spends your money and stops when it is gone. A credit card spends the bank's money. Used wisely and repaid in full every month, it can return points and cash back on purchases you would make anyway. Used to buy what you cannot afford, it becomes a trap. There are few exceptions to borrowing: property, healthcare, education, and investments designed to make more money. For almost everything else, save first and spend later. With the foundation set, the target appears. Goals define the route. Write every goal. Assign a timeline. The when determines the how. Over the last century, the S&P 500 rewarded those who entrusted time to the market. Across every 20-year holding period, investors finished with a positive return. Even the weakest period returned above 2% a year. Most 10-year periods rewarded patience as well, though a few outliers, such as the decade ending in 2008, produced a small loss. Over any single year, outcomes swing wildly. Short-term goals belong in safe, accessible places. Medium-term horizons can take some market risk. Long-term horizons demand investing because inflation and opportunity cost punish idle cash. To move from intention to action, the wealthy plan forward. Build a 12-month forecast. Use last year's reality to project the next year. Allocate savings and investments first, then fit lifestyle around priorities. Forecasting highlights bumps before they arrive. Annual renewals, holidays, big events. Layer monthly check-ins on top. A simple guide like the 50-30-20 framework can keep habits on course. Aim half of take-home pay at essentials. Aim 30% at discretionary joy. Aim 20% at the future through saving, investing, and extra debt repayment. Treat the rule as a benchmark, not a prison. Each month, ask 3 questions across your spending. Do I need this? If I need it, can I live with less? Can I get the same for less? Negotiating utilities. Comparing phone and internet plans. Choosing better value grocery stores. Small changes over a year become meaningful. Where money rests matters. Banks do not store deposits in a vault with your name. They lend them out, charging borrowers far more than they pay savers. That spread is their profit, known as the net interest margin. Keep more of that margin by shopping for better rates. Easy access accounts serve money that must be available. Notice accounts offer higher rates when you can wait. Certificates of deposit in the United States often pay more for a fixed term. Consider credible online banks and platforms that pass on more to savers, especially in places where traditional banks pay very little. When should investing begin? The roadmap balances protection and growth. First, save 1 month of living expenses. This is breathing room. Next, eliminate high-interest debt, especially anything above 8%. Paying that off is a guaranteed return that is hard to beat. Then build on 2 fronts. Grow an emergency fund toward 3 to 6 months of expenses and begin investing for long-term goals at the same time. Split your surplus in a way that keeps you moving forward and motivated. Now translate dreams into numbers. Work backward. What is the goal? What will it cost? When is the deadline? If the target is a home deposit of $50,000 in 10 years, a monthly investment of $300 at a reasonable 7% return grows to the goal over time. If the monthly budget is $200, a lump sum of around $7,500 at the start can close the gap. If the monthly is $100, the initial amount must be larger. The difference between what the goal requires and what you can invest today is the investment gap. Knowing the gap is power. Extend the timeline. Improve returns within your comfort for risk. Add a larger initial contribution. Increase contributions as income grows. Align with the tax rules in your country to keep more of what you earn. As money grows, the mix should evolve. An accessible guideline begins with age. Round your age to the nearest 5, then subtract 10. That figure is a simple estimate for the percentage of your portfolio in bonds. The remainder sits in equities. At 32, rounded to 35, the guide suggests 25% in bonds and 75% in equities. At 58, rounded to 60, the guide suggests half in bonds and half in equities. Adjust for temperament. Some cannot sleep through a 20% market drop. Others remain calm. Concentration risk deserves special attention. Company stock and options can quietly become too large. Diversifying reduces the danger of one stock defining your future. On the road to wealth, a silent drain erodes fortunes. Cars, transportation often consumes 15 to 20% of income. 2 guardrails can protect you. The 25 to 35 guideline suggests the total price of the car should sit between a quarter and a little over a third of your annual pre-tax income, depending on how much you value cars relative to other priorities. The 24-10 rule sharpens the discipline. Put down 20%, keep the loan to 4 years. Keep total monthly car costs, including insurance and maintenance, within 10% of monthly income. Consider 2 scenarios for a $25,000 car. Financing the full amount over 5 years at a typical rate raises total cost and interest paid. Following 24-10 with a $5,000 down payment, a 4-year term, and a similar rate reduces both the monthly burden and the total interest by thousands. There is a powerful alternative as well. Buy a modest used car outright for the size of a typical down payment and save the payment you would have made. After 4 years, those savings can fund a far better car in cash with no interest and no debt. Dealerships sell monthly payments. The wise calculate total cost of ownership. Finally, the home. To buy or to rent. The decision is financial and it is personal. Buying carries sunk costs that never return. Taxes and duties, legal fees, valuation and arrangement charges. They add up quickly. Ownership also brings ongoing maintenance, often estimated at about 1% of the home's value each year. Renting is simpler. Monthly rent is the sunk cost, with maintenance handled by the landlord, though a deposit can be withheld if a property is not returned in good condition. Opportunity cost shapes the equation. Consider a $400,000 home. A typical 20% down payment is $80,000. A mortgage of $320,000 at 5% over 20 years produces a payment near $2,100 a month and a total repayment near $506,000, with interest of around $186,000. If the property appreciates at 3% annually, its value after 10 years can reach roughly $537,000. That is a gain in equity. Yet the down payment could have been invested. At 7% a year, $80,000 grows to around $157,000 over time, a profit of roughly $77,000. You would still need to pay rent, so housing cost does not disappear. The essential question becomes this: given your city, your horizon, and your discipline with investing, which path leaves you with more wealth and a life that fits your needs? Stability and the freedom to shape a home carry psychological value that cannot be measured on a spreadsheet. Flexibility and ease have value as well. What worked for another generation may not be optimal today. Markets evolve. Interest rates shift. Your answer should be your own. The secrets of the 1% are not secret at all. They are habits measured in years. Know where you stand. Clear the costly debt. Set targets with timelines. Forecast a year ahead and steer each month. Keep cash where it earns its keep. Start investing when you are protected. Let time and discipline work for you. Use tools that simplify the work, whether you build them yourself or adopt templates and calculators designed for clarity. By the end of this journey, financial literacy becomes a lens, and the map becomes a way of life.